Sean, are you there?
Hey, brother, I'm here. Rock and roll. How are you?
All right. Things are good.
All right, let me know when.
So,
let me know when we go here.
We are go. We're on the air. There we go. Yep, we're on the air.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm going to put everything I'm saying today. I'm going to put it in the blog for you to post up on the site, and I'm also going to get you in touch with somebody like Ann DeVito, because I have audio books of Black Seraph and Veil of the Antichrist, the Dark Prophet, as well on audio. So we'll give you those to get to once you finish up the Sands of Time series. And
cool.
you've been a great trooper for all of this, and I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being my brother and being my friend and putting this out there. I need to also thank people like Ken McCoy, who helped us with some money for legal filing, and of course Mama Lily Patrick, who's definitely one of the Order of the Violet Fire, and she's been helping us and basically just keeping us alive here. My all hell's going to break loose later on this month because my legal paperwork is finally getting filed. There's going to be some massive smear articles that are going to be launched against me in the national press. You know, because people that believe in the common law, even though the Department of Justice website says the common law is the life of the people believe in common law, and people believe that you should stand up for yourself, and people believe in the Constitution. We're all crazy, and we deserve to be put in jail and imprisoned to show other people that they can't stand up for themselves and that they can't do what's right and that they can't fight the good fight against these people. And I'm in there with Nelson Mandela, who was in prison for 27 years, and Mahatma Gandhi, who later basically founded India, became the leader of New India, and he was put in prison originally. So it'll be very interesting. But all my legal stuff is finally going in. These people have no answer for it, and I expect to be out of here pretty soon. First thing to talk about is California fires. I think the death toll is going to reach about 1,000 in this whole thing, well into the high hundreds. Like I said, maybe just under 1,000, just a little over 1,000 once this is all said and done. The California fires, I don't know how many times I told people that if I was to either willingly or forcibly be sent out of California, that I said, quote, all hell would break loose. And I think on the show over and over and over again, I've said first will be the fires, then you're going to see massive rains and flooding and mudslides, and then the earthquakes are going to come. And this is all part of the pattern of that happening. The two areas that should have been evened out that I obviously can't do are the angelic forces in Mount Shasta, the Archangel Michael forces there, and the angelic forces on a place called Santa Cruz Island at Scorpion Ranch, which is just it's part of the Channel Islands off the coast of Ventura, which is basically Malibu is gone, but most of Ventura is gone. Santa Rosa is completely gone, and it's so funny because the Eagles song says, call someplace paradise and kiss it goodbye. And isn't it ironic that the town of Paradise is also gone as well? Just a swath of massive destruction as far as the fires go, the worst fires in history. And once again, I was put on a bus and shackled up and shipped out here to Tucson, Arizona. In 1989, I just want to give you people some aspects on this. Mama Lily Patrick is going up there to try to reactivate the angelic forces in Shasta. In 1989, I went to Mount Shasta with a group of people to try to stop the Northern California, San Francisco earthquakes, and that was October 1st of 1989. We went up there, we did what we could, but all the angelic energy was gone. There were massive disasters that took place around Mount Shasta. There were trains that wrecked that had like chlorine powder in it that killed like all life in the rivers for 300 miles or so. But what we managed to do at Mount Shasta was at least push the earthquake away from San Francisco, 60 miles south to Hollister, and the earthquake occurred. I was there October 1st of 89. You can ask all the people that were there with me, and the earthquake occurred 17 days later. It was either October 17th or October 19th of 89. And I do believe that there's another massive quake coming for California that's going to destroy Silicon Valley, that's going to destroy large sections of Southern California, because you just can't have that much concentrated hate and concentrated evil and concentrated wrong-headedness and not have the earth itself react. So let's talk about the elections for a second, talking about that. Once again, historically, you're going to wind up with 53, maybe 53, possibly 54 senators on the righteous side, and the Congress is pretty much lost. And what you're going to see is complete and utter chaos, because now you have this, quote, progressive communist left wing of the Democratic Party. And it's not just that they're progressive and communists; they're freaking morons. They're just idiots, these people. And so they're just going to fight and fuss between themselves. Nothing is going to get done in the Congress, which means no 10% tax cut specifically. What might get done is prison reform and sentencing reform. At least that is going to be something that's bipartisan, that both the Republicans and the Democrats could agree on, is that the prison system is completely, is in a total shambles, that sentencing is terrible, and the people like me and the people at this camp, none of them should be here. They should all be outside. They should all be working. They should all be generating taxes. And that's what they're trying to get rid of. Stupid places like this for nonviolent, non-drug paperwork crimes, as an example. And I don't think the wall is ever going to get built. And the reason I don't think they're ever going to get the money for the wall is I think there's biblical prophecy against it. Because when Israel and the land of Canaan was described in the Bible, there's a second holy land that's described as being between two shining seas and a great river to the south, and its northern border would be the top of the world in the book of Joel, and that specifically is the United States and Canada. But it also talks about the second holy land being a land or a country with no walls. Therefore, I don't think the wall is going to go up. And let me also comment on Geppetto's kid, the puppet boy of Cuomo, on CNN, because his dad got him that job, and Puddinhead Don Lemon, whose head is full of nothing but lemon meringue, and little Gaylord Fauntleroy Blanderson Cooper on CNN. I cannot believe that I'm sitting here watching these people lie. Frickin' lie. Oh, there's no invasion. Oh, there's no caravan. Oh, it's just a myth. It's just an illusion. You know, I'm holding up 4 fingers, but you better say 5. It's just the whole 1984 aspect. And now they're at the border, and people should realize that the Mexicans hate the Guatemalans, and they hate the Hondurans even worse. The Mexicans think the Guatemalans are dirty, that their language is filthy, that they curse and they swear all the time, that they're blasphemers. They don't like them. And now, finally, what you're seeing is, I cannot believe that I'm sitting here watching the media tell you that the whole thing is myth, that it's something that was made up, that it was something that was just political for Trump. But now, once again, the wall's never going to get built. They're never going to do any kind of immigration reform because our buddies, the Democrats, have now taken over the Congress. Mercury went retrograde last Friday, and it's going to be a murderous death spiral retrograde because it's a retrograde in Sagittarius until December 7th, which means everybody's got to be very careful of travel, very careful of, and now I got all my legal stuff in. And so the good news for me is when my legal stuff goes through, these people will have no answer, and they're going to be put in the death spiral of chaos when they realize that they're going to be eating a whole bunch of humble pie for Thanksgiving. And they're going to have to start to explain their totally criminal actions. Let me see. Okay, so Congress's mess, no wall. In 1994, by the way, in the Vajra Chronicles, and you guys can look this up online, but once again, when I went to my trip to the future, to 100 years in the future, Vajra was the one that was saying that the United States would be inundated and overwhelmed with immigrants. Now, he did say something about more women and children actually coming to the country, whereas this caravan is almost 95% men. But this was back in '94 that I continue to say that as these end time things begin to wind down, that these massive immigrant populations would start coming into the United States. Oddly enough, in 1976, believe it or not, when I was in high school, I won a $25,000 GEMCO college scholarship, and the topic was debate on immigration. And I talked about how the United States was like a boat, and then you can only take on, or it's like a lifeboat, literally, and you can only take on so many people before your resources ran out, before the boat sank. And as I said, I got a $25,000 college scholarship back in 1976 because I was debating the challenge of the illegal immigration at that time. So once again, I talked about if anybody wants to contribute, and I'm going to put this in the blog specifically. We're out of money. We've got the motions coming in. We've got the appeal all finished. We were literally scraping the bottom of the barrel just for money to do the mailing to get this out to everybody. But our PayPal account is lifeisdarngoodyes@yahoo.com. That's lifeisdarngoodyes at yahoo.com. Life is darn good, yes. So $50 to $100 would totally save our lives right now for all of this. Let me see, what else was I going to talk about? The reason Mount Shasta is significant is that if people could go to Mount Shasta, they need to re-energize that angelic energy. In 1994, I went to Shasta with a group of people, with my late friend.
This call is from a federal prison.
And there was like an egg, like a violet egg that was inside the mountain that we managed to activate and bring the angelic forces back to Shasta, which had left in 1988. And as a matter of fact, Elizabeth Clare Prophet had talked about how the angelic forces had left, and then you had Gordon Michael Scallion, who was very accurate with all of his earthquake predictions up until the Landers quake of 1992. And when the Landers quake happened, there was a fleet of craft, these sort of greenish gourd-shaped ships that appeared over Southern California that stopped this massive earthquake from destroying that entire area. And Scorpion Ranch is particularly unique because those islands off the coast of California, those are ancient Lemurian temple sites. And so you can go out there and you can balance the air and the earth and the fire and the water from that claw, if you will, because it looks like a little dragon, from that claw out at Scorpion Ranch. So, and I took out the last time before the Northridge earthquake, I took out an American Indian elder named John Two Birds, who's an Ojibwa elder. I took out Geshe Gyeltsen, who was my Tibetan Buddhist teacher and also one of the teachers of the Dalai Lama. And we did some amazing work out there, which I thought, and once again, the Northridge was also preceded by massive fires in Laguna in Southern California before it went crazy. And the next challenge they're going to deal with, especially in Malibu, is going to be that you're going to see storms like you've never seen, which are going to pound that entire area and watch for closures of Highway 1, and because there's only one way in and out of Malibu, and that's the Pacific Coast Highway, or PCHA, as my Irish grandmother used to call it. And there's only one way out. So once you have mudslides coming across that road, those people are trapped because the only way in and out of there is like through Coldwater Canyon and the various canyon sites. Let me talk about the Supreme Court a little bit. Brett Kavanaugh is going to be a gigantic disappointment. People are going to find that Kavanaugh, even though everybody fought for his nomination to the Supreme Court, and you saw the big thing that happened, Kavanaugh is still a diehard Catholic Jesuit, and he's going to go to the left hand of the Supreme Court along with that traitor, that wolf in sheep's clothing, John Roberts. John Roberts is the reason why we have Obamacare, because he made up law by saying, oh, well, if it's a tax, then it's perfectly okay. And you're going to see Brett Kavanaugh, who's going to be an amazing disappointment. He was not on Trump's original list of people to actually pick and choose. And so people are going to realize that Kavanaugh is another one of those John Roberts style wolves in sheep's clothing, and that he's another Opus Dei Jesuit, and he's another guy that's basically going to betray the country. Ruth Bader Ginsburg may not be Ruth. I've fallen and I can't give up. Bader Ginsburg might not be long for this world, so we might get another shot at it. Gosh, what other questions here that's I needed to answer? Wow, I think I just talked and got through most of it. Just let people know that for everybody, as I said, this smear article in the national press is going to go at me here probably at the end of this month. But I have an article that I'm going to be sending you that was written by the people in the light that we're going to get to the good people. We're going to get it to Ivanka Trump and Jared Kushner and the president, Sarah Sanders and Kellyanne Conway, and all the positive people in the media. We're going to try to get it to, Alex Jones and Sean Hannity and Mark Levin and, whether or not they'll pay, or, I don't know where Matt Drudge has gone. Matt Drudge used to be on our side, and now I think he got popular and he began to realize that his bread was buttered on just mouthing the whole socialist, communist, progressive line. So I don't know what's happened to him other than him just turning into another smear dog. But I'll get this article to you, and it was written by the people that know the case. By the way, the woman who's writing the smear article under another name, we actually offered her the chance to be on the inside track to see what these people did to us and see the crimes that were committed against us, like stacking the jury, as an example, with people who were friends of the prosecutors, like overturning things like the IRS hounded for like the California Franchise Tax Board to go after me. Things that had already been settled 5 years ago, they picked up to do this. So, and it's also a real shame that Winston Shrout as well. Winston Shrout got sentenced to 10 years this last week. So, JP, look, I pray for you and Rebecca every day, and my prayers are very powerful in here, but I meditate on you, and I know you're going to get that new good job, and people don't realize what a jewel and what a treasure and what a powerful, magnificent and you really need an agent to help you out there, or maybe you just need to move to Edinburgh. All right, they're cutting me off, but I'm going to put all this stuff in a blog. I'll write it down. I'll get it out to you later on tonight. And once again, I want to thank Ken McCoy and Mama Lily and all the people on my legal team and you as well. So thank you, brother.
All right, mate. Take care.
All right.
Good night, Sean.
Okay, good night.